Second question, and you might not want to respond on them. In the FTA negotiations, the free trade agreements that are being negotiated by the Commission now with Korea, Canada, and also the Central American countries, there is a formulation in terms of ISP liability which goes beyond the e-commerce directive and leaves open. So it's a transformation of the e-commerce directive in a very peculiar form. Would you think that in these FTAs the acquis is being blurred?
Well, to the first question, I mean, if you're a member of the Parliament, I will not comment what the Parliament said. I can only read it, and if you take the whole resolution, it mentions counterfeiting in paragraph 8, and it mentions copyright enforcement, particularly in the digital environment, in paragraph 9. And I know that perhaps you would like us only speak of 8, but one has to read the whole document. In any case, the line is very clear. The line for us is the EU legislation, and I suppose the Parliament as well, but that's not for me to say. So we will respect the existing EU legislation, which allow me to answer your second question. You say that we are, if I understood you well, in our free trade agreements are changing the e-commerce directive. I really don't agree with that. When we negotiate free trade agreements, we do also with the colleagues who are the very authors or the very guardians, if you want, of these directives, and they wouldn't like us to change it. So perhaps there's a difference of interpretation there, but this is not our line. Thank you. Any other questions? Lady here, lady there, and gentleman there.
I'm Sylvie Forbin from Vivendi. I would like to, of course, to reassess our support to the exercise, which is the exercise of ACTA. And of course, we follow very carefully all the progress, and we hope that we will have an end as soon as you can in the near future. I am a little concerned by some interventions here and there regarding legal framework and your answer on acquis communautaire. Of course, we are proud of this acquis communautaire, and we think it's a good thing to export it. Nevertheless, an acquis communautaire is not something gravé dans le marbre. It is something in movement. And when we speak of legal framework, we know in the main markets of the world where digital economy is developing, that partly based on case laws, partly based on best practices, partly based on all the negotiations that we have on private and public ground, there are progress. So how do you assess some part of flexibility, or how this treaty will be adjusted in the future from the signature of the treaty, and in the future to adopt or to adjust to the technology progress and case laws achievements and legal framework changing in the countries, in the various countries. Thank you.
Thank you. You are right, of course, legislation by definition moves. International treaties can as well. If we were to wait that legislation on one topic doesn't move to have an international treaty, we would have no international treaties. So I note with pleasure that you are optimistic about the future of the treaty, because you already mentioned about updating the treaty, which is not there yet. I mean, we'll have to discuss mechanism on how to do this. We haven't reached that stage yet. But clearly, of course, we don't want, as you say, that things stay in the bubble for also reasons that technology evolves and you can have new problems appearing and old problems disappearing as well. So it's very pertinent, very relevant question, but we'll have to address it in due time. But we certainly keep that in our mind. Thank you. Lady in black.
Yes, thank you. My name is Kristina Sizinska. I work for the International Trademark Association, which is a large membership association of over 5,600 trademark owners and professionals in 190 countries around the world. We actually don't have any questions at this stage, and we hope that your talks with your partners will maybe alleviate some of the concerns, and that maybe some document may be coming our way at some stage so that we can comment. In the meantime, we would like to, as an international association, would like to offer our support, our continuing support, to the EU's participation in those negotiations, because we believe it could be a critical agreement in the fight against counterfeiting and its rising transnational nature. That is really the issue, it's the transnational nature of the phenomenon. And what we would like to see come out from this agreement are, of course, higher standards and stronger cooperation on combating transnational counterfeiting, stronger border enforcement measures, especially in relation to goods in transit, more effective criminal penalties, and we're very happy to see that there may be some initiative along the way in the EU. We understand that in those international negotiations, not having harmonized criminal sanctions in Europe can be a barrier or a difficulty in negotiating with other countries which do have criminal sanctions. So we hope that this will follow through. We, of course, hope that there is going to be stronger international cooperation between enforcement bodies of the signatory countries. That's very important. And more countries, if more sign up. And above all, of course, increased cooperation with industry. At the end of the day, we hope that this will become a gold standard agreement in the fight against global counterfeiting.
Well, thank you very much for the support. As I've said in the beginning, the reason why we do this to preserve our competitiveness, our jobs, our export interest, clearly. And so it's good that this is shared by those who are producing the intellectual property rights, which is not the case of us, of course. So thank you very much. I know that cooperation with industry, and for us with industry also consumer organization is important, as we do in other fora. So fully agree with that. Thank you. There was a question in the back. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. My name is Michael Bartholomew. I'm the director of ETNO, which represents all European major telecom operators. First of all, I'd thank you very much for holding this hearing today. As you can see with the large turnout, so much of our information has been based on leaked documents, rumors, as you mentioned early on, and I would encourage you to please keep us informed in this open and transparent way for the future weeks, because for a long time our counterparts in the United States, industry in particular, has been very fully informed, and it would be good to have a similar exercise here. Again, excuse me for, in a way, basing some of my concerns on these leaked documents, but obviously, you know, when they're here in front of you in black and white, it causes some concern. So I wanted just to make one particular point, which has been made some by my other colleagues, that we really are very concerned, at least based on the documents we've seen, about some disproportionate and very wide-ranging measures, including having users being disconnected from the Internet. I think this has been made clear today that by yourself as well, which I'm particularly glad to hear that this is not going to be the case, and we certainly would urge you to please do not go and negotiate a treaty that goes beyond this very delicate balance reached in the acquis communautaire so far. So